everyone, welcome back to Cosmetic Chaos. My name's Candace. If you are new here, hello. If you are not, what's up? It's been a really long time since I've done an update, and by a really long time I mean like 2 months, not to be dramatic, but I was trying to hit it every month. So I believe this is my second update on my year-long project pan, and based on the feedback from last month's or 2 months ago's update, you guys would like it to be rolling. So I'm going to be going over what I've used up, where we're at with things I had intended to use up, and adding in some new products. Alright, so let's get started with things I have used up. So you can check out my other video as well for the beginning as well as the first update to see what has already been used. I will not be revisiting the initial list of products and things that I have already gone over that I've used up because they are long gone, and that's fine, and that's the point of a rolling project pan. So I am sad to see this go. This is the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Oil Elixir Bright Booster. I would definitely repurchase this. Unfortunately, my packaging completely broke. The little pump wouldn't pump it up anymore, like the dropper. So I ended up having to like take the lid off and dump it into my hand and then put it on my face, and then it became a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it is gone. I would definitely repurchase this again once I work through some more of my skincare, but was really disappointed that first of all, that's broken. So you can see where it's broken there. You can also see that it came off completely, and it was also broken on the inside of the dropper. So the suction mechanism that actually brought it up in there also cracked. So I'm not sure if I'm just the Hulk with my skincare and don't know how to close something effectively, but that was a little bit disappointing that that would break considering all it is a dropper. So that was a very important part of my skincare for a very long time. I was using a toner, the Oil Elixir, the Transformation Night Cream from Ole Henriksen, Invigorating Night Transformation Cream, and a moisturizer, and I felt like it was doing a massive difference to my skin, and I know that that specific product was really helping with retaining moisture in my skin. So I may actually repurchase it at some point before I get through other things, but I definitely liked it, but was very disappointed in the packaging. I may actually reach out to Physicians Formula and give them some feedback on that, because to me, having a dropper packaging not survive just being open and closed is a little weird to me. Product number 2 I finished up is this Nude by Nature translucent powder. I got this in a top box. It is, I believe, an Australian brand. I've been corrected a few times, but it is completely gone. I really did like it. Probably won't repurchase it because I feel like for the price I can get something that comes with a little bit more, but overall if I got it in a sample again I would probably work through it. I finally finished up the CoverGirl Vitalist Elixir Foundation. This has been discontinued now, so that makes me a little bit sad, but if it came back out I would also repurchase this. I don't even know what to say about it. It gave me such a wonderful finish, and I was getting lots of compliments at one point about my skin when I figured out that skincare routine, and then I was using this at the same time, but I can't get anything else out of this. You can see right into the bottom, it's just kind of what's dried up left in there. So happy it's gone, but also at the same time sad to see it go. Definitely mixed feelings about this being over. I'm not the best at project pans. I don't love getting rid of stuff that I like, but I also don't like forcing myself to pan something I don't like, so it's like a double-edged sword for me. At the same time, I have a ton of stuff and I do need to focus on working through some things, or I'm going to die in a grave full of makeup. On my last update, I do remember talking about the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray Mist, about how I felt like it would never die, and no joke, I used it 1 second after that video just to freshen up my makeup between filming, and it died. Like, I could have just put the camera back on and be like, well, it's done now, but I did just leave it, and it did die that day, literally moments after. I have about 15 setting sprays right now. Once I get through 2 or 3 of those, I will definitely repurchase this again. Okay, the last thing I used up was the Tree Hut Skincare Moisturizer. I did like this. This came in a glossy box. Tree Hut Skincare in general I do really like. It's available on Amazon. That's the easiest way I found to get a hold of it for myself as a Canadian. Very reasonably priced, kind of priced around where The Ordinary is priced. Truthfully, I didn't feel like it did anything extraordinary, but it also didn't do anything negative to my skin, so for the price I do kind of like it for that. I believe that these guys are also like cruelty-free, made in the US. I think they're also vegan. Yeah, it's all about natural beauty, fortified with natural botanicals. So if I was ever going through my skincare and this came up or came to me in a subscription box again, I would really probably purchase it again. I have a tough time making the purchase it again call because I have BoxyCharm still. I get a lot of samples and I do get some things sent to me in PR. Not a ton, but enough that it kind of keeps me going. So I did like it and I wouldn't bet against it, but maybe I wouldn't repurchase it because I wouldn't need to. Okay, so now we are getting into the category of products that I am still working on. This is obviously a little bit bigger of a category because I did kind of make this the most ridiculous project pan ever that I have ever tackled. I included 23 products right off the hop, and some of the categories are literally like all of my Lorac shadows and most of my ABH palettes and all of my Colourpop Super Shock shadows. The goals were different for each thing, but I did make this fairly lofty for myself. So let's get started on the things I'm still working on. I am still working on the Luminous Skin Mist from Tatcha. I like Tatcha products in general. I don't think I'll repurchase this. I can most definitely say I won't repurchase this. This makes me look sweaty and I don't like to look sweaty. So this was the last update and this is where we're at now. I'm going to focus on this in the next few weeks and just try and get rid of it because I don't like it. I've been wearing it when I do wear it underneath my makeup. It is primer, dewy skin mist, concealer, foundation, round 2 of concealer, etc, etc. It doesn't do anything when I do it that way, but at least I'm using it and I'm not going to just throw it away. I have never been a big like dewy skin type person. I prefer like the natural glow given by highlight, not the wet face given by setting spray. The dewiest setting spray that I have that I do like is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set, and I do actually physically cover my chin when I use it because I don't like a sweaty looking chin. So the next product will be a little bit hard to tell where I'm at because I did decide to repress it. So I had hit significant pan in the Bahama Mama bronzer from the Balm, but now it's been repressed so I could work into it a little bit better. The pan was so big that I was having a hard time actually getting anything out of it, and I've also been kind of leaving this on its own and not really spending a lot of time with it. I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand a lot. It's just easier and looks a little bit more natural in my opinion. I did a video recently demonstrating that. It was a get ready with me. But I have been in and out of love with this bronzer many times over the years, so I will continue to keep working on it, but I probably will remove it from the project pan once I hit pan again. I did include 2 products from The Ordinary. One was the hyaluronic acid, which I've already finished, and this is the Buffet, the multi-technical peptide serum. Multi-technology, not technical. I did decide to mark it on the last update, so that was about here, and I haven't moved it since then. Now that the Physicians Formula is finished, I will probably be able to get through this a little bit faster. I was really liking this at one point. Like, I've obviously used quite a bit of it because it is more than halfway gone, but I don't know what it is where I just keep forgetting about it. Like, I don't reach for it, I don't think about it, it like ends up in my tray of skincare and just kind of disappears. So I'm going to have to leave this so it's front of mind and I can actually use it. I have a harder time with this one than the hyaluronic acid because when I put this one on, it seems to like give me flakies around my nose or around my hairline or anywhere I don't get it into my skin enough, which is a little bit frustrating, and I don't really love that about it. But it is a nice, when it doesn't flake, it is actually a nice skincare item. Alright, so I also had the Fenty Gloss Bomb Mini in here. I do have the full size, but I wanted to put this in here so I didn't have 2 of the same product rolling around. This I'm going to mark right now. I am a failure at marking products, so I'm going to mark this right now so we know where I'm at. And we are about there on this guy. So this, I think I lost for about a month, as well as the Bite Beauty Lip Crayon. This one was definitely not in my last update, but that is all that's left of this one. So if I focused on this for like a week, it would be long done. So I will definitely be doing that. I like to couple these together, to be honest. They are a very nice match. This one is in the shade Glace, and this is obviously in Universal Gloss Bomb. So I would definitely repurchase both of these. I have thought about looking into the Bite Beauty, what are these even called? Matte Cream Lip Crayons. I really like the formula of these. They go on very nice. They're really easy on the lips. And I think both of these lip products are a big win. One of my loftier goals was to hit pan on the Fenty Beauty Hustla Baby Highlight. I thought between the last update and now I would have the FB pretty much worn off, but you can see in the monitor it is still very much there. It is slowly working its way out, but I have been purchasing a lot of products over the last 2 months as well. So I feel like a lot of the products in this project pan have kind of been sitting and not being given any love because I've been trying a lot of new stuff, which I know I said I wouldn't do. I have problems. I just like stuff. I just like new stuff. Don't look at me, Mom. This one was another pretty lofty goal. I feel like all of the next ones are getting into the loftier goal area. The last update is the top line, and this update is the second line here. I didn't put a starting point because I'm a dumbass, and that is like my biggest failure point with doing project pans, other than just sucking at them in general. So this, I think, will be done by the end of the year, if not before. It's actually pretty crazy to see how much I've used in the matter of a couple of months, but I do actually wear eyeshadow every single day, except for maybe a day here or there on the weekends. So 7-day-a-week eyeshadow looks will probably get you through your eyeshadow primer pretty quickly. So I did also add the MAC Smolder eye pencil, and I did try and actually mark this one, and we didn't get very far in the time that I did my last video. It's only come down about maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less. Like you can see it here, and the difference is pretty insignificant. I just don't wear black eyeliner on my lower inner rim like I used to. I have been trying to move out of the comfort zone of wearing a black wing every day. Don't look at me today. But I have been trying to use this instead on my waterline on the upper and lower, just to try and work through it and get different makeup styles kind of coming out of me every day. I'm not sure ultimately if I will get through that pencil based on the progress I'm making. I'm gonna say probably not, but we'll see where we're at by the end of the year. The Dr. Brandt Needles No More eye cream, I am almost done this. I would say by the next update it will probably be gone. I did forget about it for a little bit, probably about a week I didn't use it. And I know a week doesn't seem like a lot, but with an eye cream I use enough of it that it would have made a little bit more damage than was currently done. I would not repurchase this. I don't find it does all that much. It does help with my eyeshadow creasing because the moisture in my eyelids are a little bit more stable, but I don't really love this formula, and there's eye creams I like better. If I was to purchase one of my own instead of just using what I get in subscription boxes, I would probably go, I would probably purchase the number 7 eye cream. Everybody seems to really rave about that, and I would like to try it out. And for the cost of this thing, which I believe is like $45, somewhere around there, Canadian, it's just too expensive for what it is. Okay, so my last update, I had not used any of my Super Shock shadows at all. There was absolutely nothing to update on there. So I have used 5 Super Shock shadows in the time between the last one and now. One of them is Ladybird, which I have talked about ad nauseum on my channel. This one I have actually hit pan on. This one is new. This is the Super Shock in Fizz, and it literally says right on it, not for eye area, which is hilarious. I've used this one a little bit, and I have used the yellow, which is a ultra glitter in the shade Floating, and it's just, this is from that 25 eyeshadow set that they sent out to celebrate the anniversary. And then we have Flux With You. This is from the Butterfly collection. There's a pretty significant dent in this one as well. This one actually I should leave out because it's starting to separate from the sides, which means it's starting to go bad, which is part of the reason I have them in here at all. I also have used Nocturnal a little bit. This is kind of like a blue, purple, pink. It's like mixed together, so that's a little bit different on the eye. But yay for me, I did actually use 5 of the shadows. Okay, so I have 4 Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes that I know I talked about in my last update. I don't think I have been using them as much as I thought I was going to. There was a while there when I was using them really consistently. So in the Modern Renaissance, I haven't made any further progress, but I still have 2 pans in this guy. Soft Glam I was using for a little while. I did take it to New York with me and was using it there. And I have been using these shades Pink Rose and Sultry the most, which are these two. And I think I mentioned this before, but I love that they actually took the shade Sultry and made the Sultry packaging look like the eyeshadow, because I'm interested by things like that and I am intrigued in such a way. Narvina I haven't used at all, and Sultry I have been using still the same shades, Slate and Cyborg, which are basically the two gray and silver shades. All right, my last lofty goal was to use up my, not necessarily use them all up, but definitely do some damage. And I do have some pans on them already, but I have been solely pretty much focusing on this little blue guy here. I don't know why I'm so attracted to that. I think it goes really well with the Game of Thrones palette. I've also been working with some of the lighter shades as inner corner highlights and brow bone highlights, just to make sure that it's getting a little bit of love. I may at the end of the day have to take out a few selections a month to kind of work on specifically and put them into a smaller palette. I think part of the reason I don't reach for this is because it's massive. So I wanted to have them all together because I didn't like having the like 20 different Lorac palettes, but I also don't know if this solved my problem because now this is also stored across my room from where I actually do my makeup. Okay, so far I actually don't think we're doing too bad with what I have worked with, or worked through, sorry, and what I have left. But now we're going to go through some of the new products. So I did try and bring the number back up to 23 that I was working on. So the first thing I'm going to mention is the MAC Fix Plus. I've had this for some time, but again, I have so many setting sprays. I do want to work through some of them. I already know I will repurchase this, but I will use this up, use through a few other ones, and then go back to this. So this is me publicly marking where we're starting. See everyone? Publicly marked. So we're starting at about this spot, and I do use this a lot. I use this a lot to kind of sink my makeup into my skin. I used it today, and I noticed a huge difference when I use things that look too powdery or too cakey. This just has the ability to spray on, and it's like sinks it all into your skin. My original list did have a perfume in it, so I'm going to add a perfume back in. I'm going to, in the summer, probably be using this Brazilian Crush from Sol de Janeiro quite a bit. So I have already used to here. I may not use up the entire thing, but I would like to make a pretty significant dent in this before I get it out of my collection. So hopefully at least to the bottom of the word Crush. So we're gonna go about halfway through the bottle and then we'll move this out to something else. If you can't tell, I did try and actually, like, things I've used up, put in new things. So I used up a foundation and now I'm going to put these two in. This is the YSL All Hours and the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion. Both of these are almost gone and I use them quite a bit. I will have to mark them. I'm going to mark this one now because I have a good idea of where it's at. And this one, I'm not 100% sure. And because it's frosted glass, I can't really tell. This one is about halfway. Some foundations are really hard to tell where you're at because it just kind of sticks to the side in such a way. So we're gonna call it about there. I did use up the MAC Spiked eyebrow pencil, so I'm going to put the Tonya Crooks eyebrow pencil back in. I will mark this in my book right after this video, I promise you that. And I have been using this a lot, again wearing it today. My dip brow is really drying out quickly this time. I'm not sure why it's dried out so much faster than it normally would. Normally it lasts like a year. I think that one's only a few months old, so I'm not sure if they changed the formula, but this is a really easy, lazy way for me to do my brows. So I had this in a project pan before, thought I would really work through it. Apparently I think I will get through pencils faster than I actually do, but once this is done, I will not repurchase it based on the price, but overall it is not a bad product. And I know people are gonna tell me that it's not as expensive as the Brow Wiz, but I don't use the Brow Wiz either because it's too expensive for what it is. Also, I do want to just make a quick statement here. A few people have said to me my values on things are a little bit off. My personal value of things is not necessarily just cost for product. It's like, do I actually use it? Is it travel friendly? Like, I will pay more money to have something work better for me. I will also pay more money for like less product depending on how the product works. So the way somebody values something is not necessarily the same as you. The cost per gram, that I totally get. But again, not necessarily every product you will work through. So just because you get a better value for cost per gram doesn't mean that half of that product won't go in the garbage. Okay, so I did not actually have a primer in the initial assessment of my project pan, but I will be adding the Natasha Silk Canvas. I do really like this, but I have found that I like the Tarte Pore Putty? What's it called? I have found I like the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer Base better than the Natasha Silk Canvas. Price point, they are very similar. And I don't dislike the Silk Canvas, but I just prefer the other Tarte product. So I will work through this one based on my project pan and have enjoyed our time together, thank it for its addition to my life, and move away from it and likely not repurchase because I will focus on the Tarte. I did have this in a favorites video and I do really like it. I just, between the two, I hadn't had the other one at the time. I didn't have the Tarte Smoothing Poreless and I did have this. So yeah, I stand by what I said at the time, but things changed, you know? So I'm also going to focus on finishing up the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I don't exactly know how to mark this, but I think if I had to hazard a guess, I think I have about this much left. This is the ugliest mark I've ever seen, but I think there's about that much left. I will take the sifter out eventually to make sure I actually clear it out completely because this is expensive. This is probably my 5th one of these, so I will definitely repurchase it. But right now I am slightly more in love with the Fenty Beauty Lavender powder. I don't know what it is about that powder. It's so weird to like something that's lavender, but it just does something to my skin that makes me look a little bit more dimensional and gives it just a finish that I have never gotten with the Laura Mercier powder on my entire face. I do prefer this for under my eyes. Okay, only 2 more new products left, and one of them is the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Pure Hollywood. This is definitely one of my older lip products. That is a swatch right there. I really like this for like the everyday look when you have really dramatic eyes and you just want to wear a really nude lip. This is one of my favorite nudes I have ever owned, and the formula of this is less drying than some of her other shades, in my opinion and my experience with how it feels on my lips. I know not everybody likes liquid lipsticks right now, and as the industry ebbs and flows, obviously these things are going to come in and out of style, fashion, and preference, but this one, we are probably going to have the first liquid lipstick I have ever used up, and I believe it's about there. I'm going to feel accomplished if I actually finish that bitch. I am. So this is actually a newer product for me. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. I just got this a few days ago. I don't know why I'm drawn to it and why I chose it for this project, but I like how it feels on my skin. I had used the Elemis Marine Cream, I think it's called, and used it up. And I opened the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream, and I don't really like the Confidence in a Cream. It is way too thick. I feel like after using the Elements Marine Cream, it was a really light moisturizer and like a watery type moisturizer, and I feel like this is kind of similar, where it's not as heavy and not as creamy. It's more like somewhere in between a moisturizer serum and a cream. This one, let me just mark quickly. We're basically right at the top, but I have used it a little bit, so we're not totally at the top. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what is going on with your project pans, or what products you think I should be adding or taking out, because I know a lot of these are very lofty. This was a very long update. I'm really sorry how long it was. I will try and cut this shit down, but damn, there is a lot going on and I am going to get through this shit. I'm gonna do it. If you are an avid project panner, feel free to subscribe. I am definitely an enabler of shopping for makeup and looking at makeup and touching makeup and smearing makeup all over your face at any given time in any style that you prefer. So if you are down for that, please don't forget to subscribe, hit like on this video, and leave me a comment down below on how awesome makeup is and what your favorite products are. All right, thanks so much for watching.